Paul George. Mr. You might even call me P
You
or
call
Paul
me PG.
Who knew he was done? The windmill by George.
PG. I like that. Nice. Okay. So let's go back where it all started when you were a kid. Okay. Did you play games as a kid?
I was a gamer, like a natural gamer ever since I can remember. I was really close with my uncle. And, you know, when my parents would leave me to him, I would find his video games and I'm right at it. You know, at early age, I could have been like 5, 6 years old. And I was good at it. It wasn't like it was just something that I picked up to kill time. Like I was actually very good at video games at an early age.
A little bit of rivalry with you and your sister. Who was a better gamer?
Oh, me, for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure. They play, but they play like, you know, the Marios. My oldest sister would play like Crash Bandicoot. My middle sister, not so much. She didn't play as much, but they both were like big time Mario fans growing up. I guess you could say I just took it a lot further than they did.
Speaking of your sisters, Teosha,
yeah.
She gamed a lot, obviously, but she also played basketball. Was she pretty fundamental for you getting into basketball?
Yeah, she is a big reason why I started playing and wanted to pursue it so hard. As a kid, I just watched, you know, her travel all across California, travel across states and tournaments. And we literally would just follow her around. And where we come from is a small community, small city. And a lot of people don't get an opportunity to make it out of Palmdale. And so for me to see that and then be able to daydream, and that just gave me a vision of what it could be for me. And so, you know, I just was like, hey, she could do it. I want to do it as well. And that was where it started for me. And I just kept picking away at it.
And you did it. I mean, it started off in California State. You know, tell me about what it's like to be a Bulldog.
It's awesome. Great community, unbelievable city. Very similar to Palmdale as far as, you know, a tight community. It's just a bigger scale of Palmdale. The second I got there, it was like home. Yeah. You know, the people took me in, they embraced me. The fans, you know, everyone embraced me there. So it was, and it was only 3 hours away. So my family were there every game. So it still felt like I was at home while being there.
Yeah, and I know they did an event for you. You know, retiring in that jersey. How was that?
Yeah, it was awesome. My whole family was there, and then the Clippers ended up surprising me by pulling up during the ceremony, and I literally didn't have a clue that they were going to make it. So
they just came.
They just came as the jersey's going up. I look over and then I see, you know, multiple teammates, coaches. It was awesome.
When it comes to playing basketball, I've always was curious about the mind games of basketball. We had, was it Lance blowing in LeBron's ear, or walk me through what it's like to be on the court. What kind of mind games go on during that time?
Yeah, I mean, it's competition, right? There's always someone looking to get an edge. If I can throw you off your game, or if you know, I can make a moment difficult for you, then I'm going to go for it. And I think that's what that scenario was. Lance saw an opportunity to try to throw LeBron off his game. And also it just adds, you know, adds another level of entertainment to the game. You know, it's fun. That moment is still being talked about. You know what I mean? So it's just creating special moments by special individuals to, you know, build the culture. Because that play, again, it'll be 10 years from now, or however long LeBron plays.
I remember that.
It seems he's ageless in the NBA. So however long he plays, we'll still be talking about that moment and that playoff run that he had.
Yeah, I wonder if people try to do that on purpose too. Like, oh, it's LeBron. You know, I'm trying to.
Yeah, I mean, you people do it for their own, you know, gains. Try to, you know, get some, you know, notoriety to themselves. And so, you know, I'm not going to mention names in this situation, but it didn't work out for one individual.
Oh, wow.
So, okay. But, you know, people try it. But if you do it, you know, you got to come with your best.
You're known for a lot of things, but one thing that not a lot of people realize is you're pretty shifty with your handles. You know, I like how you mentioned that word when you met Professor for the first time. How do you do it?
I'm really good for my size to see something and be able to mimic it. That's really what it came down to initially. And then as I got older, I would, watch N1 and watch how they moved and how they played and how can I add that flair to my game and, work on my handles so I'm not a post player. I'm not playing in the paint. I wanted to be on the perimeter. I saw myself as a guard. And then again, it comes down to me being able to see it, watch people do it. And then it's like, oh, okay, I can do that. Like I can move that way, and it just over time, I just continue to just work on my game, got confident in it.
Dude, is there any things that are little in basketball that people do that they're like, oh, that guy's good?
Yeah. I mean, it's just always the small stuff. Like I think the outside people see stat sheets, right? You see rebounds, you see made baskets, you see steals. Like that's all stuff that can be recorded. But when you look at guys that affect basketball, they affect winning, that they do things that don't show up on the stat sheets. That's the most impressive guys to me. Like the guys that are diving for loose balls, the guys that are boxing out, the guys that are giving their bodies up, taking a charge, or just going the extra mile for a contest. Like those are the guys that that to me, but I was thinking of Lonzo Ball, and what makes him so great is, people say question his shooting or, his ability to not be a knockdown shooter early in his career, right? But they fail to realize everything else that he does. He's a great passer. He's a great rebounder. He's a great defender. He's a great just teammate. And so for me, if a guy can do all of those things, like his inability to shoot at that moment, he's a good shooter now, but his inability to shoot at that moment, it doesn't carry that much value to me. His value is what he can do and how he affects winning. That's the most important aspect of his game.
It's kind of similar to Kobe.
Well, Kobe could do it all.
Yeah, that's true.
Kobe could do it all. But Kobe, that's what made Kobe so special, is one of the best scorers, but he affected winning more than just scoring. You know what I mean? His impact, his presence, his ability to score and take out the best offensive player as well. Like he would shut them out of the game offensively as well. You know what I mean? And he would do all the little things. He would do the dirty work. For a superstar, that's a small list of guys that do dirty work at a superstar level. And so, yeah, Kobe was in an elite category of his own.
Were you really close with Kobe?
Yeah, I got to be really close to him throughout my career. In the later stages of my career is when we started to develop a close bond.
Is that 24? Why?
Bulldog 24. Yep, that's why I wore 24. I started wearing 24 my senior year. It's crazy. Before Kobe actually was 24, it just ever since in middle school, 24 used to be my number. I used to love 24.
Dang.
And then Kobe changed to 24, so I was like, oh, this is just, I gotta wear 24.
You have to now.
Yeah. Because coming up in high school, you wear what's available. Especially a freshman year, you're not picking numbers. You get whatever's left over after all the higher ups pick their jersey number.
Question for you, okay? NBA2k 24. Are you excited for it?
I am. I'm a big fan of 2K, the whole 2K series. For me, it just gets to a point where it's a lot of basketball. When you go play a game and then you get home, downtime, you cut on the game and you're playing basketball again. So it gets to a point where I'm burnt out on 2K.
Dang, yeah.
But I play consistently for the first month and then sporadically throughout.
How are the stats? Do you feel like they're similar to the player's actual skill?
I think the ratings are a little skewed sometimes because there's guys that are rated high, but they only play one side of the ball. Sure. And then there's guys that are rated maybe similar to that guy that has a high rating, but they play both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And so all right, I value the guy that plays both ends more than the guy that just plays one side. So it's a different perspective.
Yeah, it's crazy to see, being able to play your own character. Do you actually play?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say
absolutely.
A lot of fans are saying that they're a little worried for the game. The VCs rising, they keep raising it. So
it up,
yeah. I mean, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like that they should stay away from the pay to win? Should they remove boost? What do you think?
I mean, it's what I've learned the guys that are good are going to be good. Like that's not going to affect the game whatsoever. They figured out and they play the game a lot. So they know how to play. The guys that pay to play, like, yeah, their player is good, but like they're not really good because they don't take the time to play the game. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, I think 2K has built a fan base primarily on people that will spend their money to play the game. Like they have that fan base.
You obviously played with Myth, Fortnite, quite a while ago.
Way back.
Fortnite or Call of Duty, in your opinion?
I'm a Call of Duty guy. I probably haven't played Fortnite in years. But that event was a hell of an experience. I mean, it was dope. First time being in a tournament for a video game. And it was cool. It was a cool experience to see, I don't know, 100 different setups on a stage, and you got fans surrounding the whole arena. And then I get to teammate with one of the best in the game. And so it was a cool experience. It was fun, but you know, I'm much more of a Call of Duty guy.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up. Anyone that's watching this, thanks for tuning in. I will link below Paul George's Twitch. Check in the description for that.
Appreciate you.